then I was just in my bed at like 3 p.m. and I had this instrumental that Jack had sent me, and I just wrote to it, and it was my song "Where We Go." And then ever since then, things just kind of been snowballing and growing.
My name's Adam, by the way, and this podcast is about you and your journey in music.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited. Actually, I saw that you're from San Diego.
Yes, sir.
That's where I'm from.
Oh shoot, where? Where in
Yeah, I was
SC?
born and raised in San Diego. I was born in Poway at Palmerado Hospital, and then I grew up in like Penasquitos area and lived
Okay,
out in North Park for a while, South Park area, and yeah,
yeah.
Rancho Bernardo. I've lived all over San Diego for like
Yeah.
90% of my life.
Geez, yeah. I'm in like pretty much RB, like Forest Ranch area.
No way.
Yeah, so close. Like
That's so,
Poway, everywhere. Yeah.
dude, how cool. Forest Ranch, right on. I lived in Forest Ranch for a hot minute too.
Super weird community, super new, but I don't know. It's cool. I'm glad that I'm out. I'm glad that I'm in LA
Oh,
now.
you're in LA now?
Yeah.
Cool. I moved to Nashville, actually. My family and I, we moved to Nashville.
How's that?
We love it here. It's totally different. Weather's different. I mean, it rains like I would say like every other week, or not every other week, maybe even more than that, like maybe once a week.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm talking like a lot of rain. Like it rained for 15 minutes and it'll be like 6 inches on the ground. Whereas like
That's
in San Diego, you wouldn't see that for,
hell
two
no.
years. It rains more in 1 week than 2 years in San Diego, the amount of
That's
water that comes
crazy.
down.
That's sick
Yeah.
because that the music that comes out of Nashville is insane.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. You walk through downtown and it's like every little bar has at least a band playing. There'll be like multiple levels in some of these bars and there's
Oh,
somebody playing on like every level. It's crazy.
I heard about that. Like my producer's sister, I think, was out there with their girlfriends, but there was like, yeah, just levels of people playing. I'm like, how is that possible? Or like,
Yeah. It's wild. It really is. Like they say Music City, I'm like, oh, okay. But you get out of the airplane, I
yeah,
mean, the first thing you see is there's like we flew there, got out, and it's like one of the like little airport bars or little, bar
yeah,
and grills. There's people
yeah.
playing live, like
Damn,
right
in
there.
the
It's
airport.
crazy.
Wow,
In the
wow,
airport. Yeah, it's
really?
really, really weird, but we
Wow.
love it. We love it here. We're south of Nashville. I mean, there's bugs and
Yeah,
humidity and all this stuff that I wasn't
yeah.
used to, but
Oof. Damn. Well, I'm glad that you're out there. Glad you're
what?
enjoying
Thank you. I'm glad you made it to LA. That's awesome. But
it.
San Diego always holds dear to my heart, and I love that you're from there. And that's so cool that you're from Forest Ranch. Like nobody would know that place.
I heard Poway. I was like, wait, that's so close to me. That's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
no, actually, where I was living, my family, my wife, and two kids and I were living in RB forever. We lived off of Palmerado, like the exit right before the mall, in
yep.
Escondido, right before the Escondido Mall.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
We'd
Yeah.
go to Forest Ranch all the time. Like they had
Yeah.
like Carl Strauss there, the Miguel's,
Yeah, my dad, he frequents both of those spots all the time. Those are his spots.
Miguel's is our jam, man. Every time we go back to San Diego, we go to Miguel's.
That queso sauce, man, something
Dude,
special.
it's unreal. It's unreal.
So good. It's
Oh
so
man,
good.
I could go on San Diego for days with you, but so tell me, were you born in San Diego?
I was born at Mary Birch, which is like,
Oh, both my kids were born at Mary Birch
dang.
off
That's awesome.
163, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, born there and then raised in Forest Ranch. Did you go to school in Forest Ranch?
Yeah, so I lived in Scripps Ranch until 2005, and I went to like Miramar Ranch
Okay,
elementary school, and then we moved to Forest, and then I went to Oak Valley Middle School and Del Norte High
Del
School.
Norte.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you get into music?
Um, Shoot. So music is like it's always been around. My uncle used to rap when I was like 5,
Oh
and
wow.
the studio was like the bedroom next to mine in our new house in Forest Ranch. And now it's my little brother's room. But I was just always around. I never like had an urge to do it back then. I was just like, this is super cool. But like my junior year of high school, I had gotten hurt. I think it was either in track or football, and I hurt my hip flexor. And then
Oh,
it
so
was,
you're an athlete.
yeah, I was like kind of
Okay.
slated to go to college to play football. My dad was my coach.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was super strange and a big part of my life. But yeah, so I got hurt, and it was kind of like the height of like the SoundCloud rappers, like
Uh-huh.
Ruthie, all of them.
Like that
And
lo-fi
yeah,
sound. Yeah.
I liked that. It was like I liked that music, and everyone at school was kind of making that, but I wanted to do something different. And so I kind of like started doing like R&B shit, and I would write to YouTube beats, which was
Hmm.
really a weird time.
A
Um,
lot of people got their start that way, like around your age. I'm a bit older than you, but I've talked to many artists that kind of had that same thing where they take beats from YouTube or like the YouTube free stuff and work
yeah,
with that.
I don't know how to like produce anything, and it's like the easiest way to like write and get whatever you need to get out. But so I did that for a while, and then Brockhampton had come out with like their first mixtape,
Mhm.
and I just loved the story of how they came together and how the internet makes everything so like tangible. So I went to Reddit, and I went to an Odd Future subreddit, Frank Ocean subreddit, and a Brockhampton subreddit, and I was just like, does anyone want to make a group like these guys where we just make beautiful music and have like no genre and just make great art? And so the guys that responded to that are my music collective raised by the internet, and they're from like Connecticut, Florida, Portland, Maryland. Where else? I'm like blanking on some of the places. Sorry, guys. But yeah, they're all here in like LA now, and
Wow. But
making
you all
music.
met online.
Yeah, and I met my producer Jack Colby. So he's from Arizona, but he's out here too. So we just work closely, and ever since like early 2017, we've been making projects together and just always talking.
Wow.
Yeah,
And you put a record out in 2017 too.
yeah, Suburban Destinesia is my first
Hmm.
EP that I made with Jack.
Were you still in high school when that record came out?
I was, yeah.
Wow.
That was a strange time too, cause like,
Was it
yeah,
because people were like gravitating towards it and it was getting a lot of plays? Or tell me about that. I mean, you have a song on that record that has nearly 2 million plays.
yeah. Where we go, it just like it started snowballing. Like Pigeons and Planes had wrote about it, and then more people were just finding out about me and that song. And then it was weird at school because I was always known for just playing football, and like no one ever expected this side to come out. But
Mhm.
I think when I told my dad I no longer wanted to play football, he was like, "Son, I won't ever be able to look at you the same," because like that's he built our relationship was so football kind of driven, even though that's like my dad's like my best friend. I could talk to him about anything. So
Mhm.
when I heard those words, I was just like, shit, like I don't know what to do with myself, and like I have all these feelings. So
Yeah, that'd be pretty crushing, I would imagine. Like you just like, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, all good. And I was just in my bed at like 3 p.m. and I had this instrumental that Jack had sent me, and I just wrote to it, and it was my song "Where We Go." And then ever since then, things just kind of been snowballing and growing. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's great.
Wow. It's funny. I'm looking at the track listing of that record, and like it's so funny now after like knowing that you're from Forest Ranch. You have a track on the record called For Us Ranch. I didn't even like put that together.
Yes, yes. It was all just kind of like SD driven almost, and Suburban Destinesia. Like if you shorten it down, it's SD as well. So it's
Oh
like,
my God, that I didn't like literally you're blowing my mind right now. That's so funny.
yeah, that was a strange time. And I'm just glad that I'm out of the suburbs. Kind of. I'm in a weird thing right now where I'm like back and forth, like 50%. So I have like two homes to be in, but
Uh-huh.
that's a weird dynamic.
Well, with you said your uncle is into music, you had like a studio in your house?
Yeah, so we had like a home studio, like an iMac back then, and a bunch of my uncle and my dad's friends would always come through. But now it's my little brother's room, and that was like a long time ago. My uncle doesn't really rap anymore. I'd love for him to.
You
Um,
get him on your record. That'd be cool.
that'd be great. That'd be crazy. He would spit. He would spit. My uncle, my other uncle on my Asian side, works at. Oh, I don't want to butcher this. He works at some radio station, 90. I
In
don't know.
San Diego?
Yeah.
Really? I was in radio in San Diego for a number of years, and that's how I kind of put the San Diego thing together. Funny
Mm.
enough, is I used to work for 91X, and I was
I
researching
think
you,
he
and
works for 91X.
I'm sorry,
I think he works for 91X, like Tim
Tim
Pyle.
Piles?
Tim Pyle.
No way.
That's not my uncle, but that's his homie. That's his homie.
How? Okay, no way, dude. So Tim Piles
Yeah, yeah.
was the reverend at my wife and I's wedding.
Holy, whoa.
Yeah, and that's a funny
Oh,
story.
wow, wow.
Uh-huh.
That's insane. Wait, what were you about to say though? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, we were all for the radio station. We used to go out to Coachella every year. We'd have this house there, and artists would come by. And he like loosely said that he had this license to marry people, like that he got online. And I'm like, you have that? And he's like, well, yeah. He's like, well, I got it years ago, and I was gonna marry my friend, and then they ended up eloping. So I just have this. And I don't even know how the conversation came up. And I was like, dude, and he knew my wife and I very well. And I was
Yeah.
like, you're marrying us. And he's like, yo, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And it was just kind of like this one-off thing. And then I like totally held him to it. We had this big wedding. And like,
Wow. I
yeah,
love that. I love that's crazy. Like
yeah.
the
Tim
world is
Piles is a great friend of
oh,
ours. We love him so much.
oh my gosh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Married you guys.
Isn't that bizarre?
What the hell? Wow. Now you guys are in Nashville.
We just moved here though, like literally in March.
Okay.
So it's not like this whole thing all kind of came about throughout COVID. So
Okay.
but yeah, like I was at 91X for a number of years, grew up in San Diego, but like yeah, so that's where I saw your thing. I saw that Stella Brown was on their like website, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I'm reading like he was from San Diego, and I'm like, wait, what? Like I would never heard of you. And then
Wow.
yeah,
That's super cool.
cool. So
91X, dude. They throw the best like mini festival things.
yeah, they threw some good shows. They
It was
really
like,
did.
there was like where it was like outside of Qualcomm Stadium. It was
Oh
like
yeah, we did X
Phoenix.
Fest there.
Yeah, X Fest. It was like
Empire
Phoenix.
of the Sun in
Yeah,
Phoenix.
that was
Yeah.
crazy. It's like, how are these guys here right now? And I wasn't even super into music yet, but now I listen to them all the time. But I was just like, I didn't know how big they were in the indie community at all. They're
We had
like,
some good indie bands on that. I think Bob Moses was there.
yeah,
Maybe 2 Feet or Sir Sly. We had some good ones.
Fly, the Fly
Yeah.
there. It was like K
K
Flay.
Flay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the others, but it was crazy.
Yeah. So you went to that show?
I did. I went with like went with my ex-girlfriend that had kind of put me into like the alternative world. She put me on bands like Cage the Elephant and like
Sure.
1975, kind of like the pop of that scene, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, she kind of threw me into that world. So I feel like that year, I think that might have been 2017 too. It was like the start of just like going into alternative music and like guitar music.
Uh-huh.
Now I just live in that space. I love it.
Sure.
I
Do you
can't.
play guitar? Do you play an instrument?
No, I mean I
Okay.
have a little Martin right here, but I don't know how to play it. I just like sing and write, and I work with my producer. But I want to learn because I would have a lot of songs. I would probably have like albums now. Yeah, I'm taking everything slow. I got a vocal coach now, so I'm just learning how to like sing right and learning like keys and notes and stuff.
hmm
Very like new to all of this. But
Well, you're obviously crushing it. I mean, with the success of that first record and still being in high school, was
hmm,
that weird? Were people like, did they understand what was going on?
I think so. I think it just came out of nowhere. Um, I also left high school early too. Like I graduated early because I was going to meetings here a lot in LA. I was
So
just
you
like,
were getting hit up by like when management and labels because of your songs?
yeah, and that was really cool. I was always just taking the train, the Amtrak along the coast, which was really
Sure.
cool. But yeah, so I don't really know what the reception kind of was like at school when my shit came out. I don't
hmm
know. I don't know. I did get more like distance, like I distant. I felt like an outcast in a way. It was super. I don't know how to explain it. Like I still had my football homies, but even that was kind of weird because I stopped playing football too. Like my
Right.
year, I didn't play. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Did the labels and management contact you based on the success of that song?
I think so, and just yeah, off Where We Go in the EP and just like
Mm-hmm.
potential that they saw maybe.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But yeah, that was a really cool time too. Just getting in, like having like lunch with some A&Rs and like going to like Capitol Records. I was like, oh, I see this all the time, and I'm in here right now. This is kind of wild.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, I don't know. Wow, I can't believe that was like years ago now. It
I
kind of
think it's
just
because like
died.
2020 like didn't exist. Like, isn't that
Yeah.
weird?
Oh,
Like a
yeah,
whole year just went by and like the timing of everything is just so weird.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like my concept of time is just I don't even know. It's that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so talk to me about that second record you put out.
Oh, Helvetica. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That came about, what was that? Late 2019. Um, what do I say about Helvetica? It was
I mean,
super, I was in a super weird headspace that time. Like 2018, I don't think I really made a lot of records. So it kind of was like starting off on a new slate. And I was just into a bunch of weird, I was into a bunch of stuff, but I didn't know what I wanted to say at the time. And I didn't know what my like sonic blueprint or like foundation was, I guess. And
mhm.
so that's why I feel like it's super kind of not disjointed, but it goes into like a lot of genres that don't feel cohesive to me. But songs like Jet Fuel like surprised me. I feel like that's like a Where We Go part two.
Mhm.
Um, Deeper look into that story, and then like Patagonia and Earl Grey were like spur of the moment songs that were like stream of consciousness, and I think things that just needed to get out, but they don't feel like full songs to me.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Because
so
they're like the highest streamed ones on the record.
yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that like people fuck with it still.
Uh-huh.
But to me, it was just a weird time in my life, so I don't find myself going back to that record or really listening to it. But
Interesting. And
yeah,
around, so that was 2019 when you put it out, and then how quickly was that towards the end of the year or the beginning of the year? Do you remember?
that was towards the end of the year. I think October, like late October of 2019. We played a show in New York. That was my first time in New York too. It was like a Pigeons and Planes showcase with Kenny Hoopla,
Oh,
Biava,
rad.
Biava Duvey, and like Gabriel Black. So it was cool because they were breaking too, and now they're just like fucking superstars. But it was
Yeah.
so
Kenny
cool,
Hoopla is massive now.
massive. But it was crazy just seeing that dude in like this small room doing his flips and shit, and like looking at the crowd, and I was like, this is it. This man is a rock star. Like this, he's putting a battery in my back right now. So I think even he was a super big inspiration for the new record, the album, just the energy that he carries, and I think rock star quality that I'd like to embody at some point. But I'm just
Mhm.
feeling everything out and taking it one step at a time.
Prior to that New York show, were you doing song or were you playing live out in San Diego at all?
Not really. I mean, I think in 2018 I had like a little coffee shop show for So Far Sound. So it was just like a few people that came in, and it was me and my producer Jack, very like stripped down 4 song set
Uh-huh.
of the first EP. And then um that was the only show in San Diego that I've ever played. And then in 2019 I feel like I played 2 shows. I played one at the Roxy in November.
Oh, wow. How was that?
That was super cool.
That's one of my favorite venues still to this day. I love that place.
I haven't seen anyone play there yet. I haven't really seen a lot of like live shows. I feel like of like my favorite artists. I feel like I've only been to festivals like Camp Flog Gnaw,
Okay.
seen like a bunch of artists there, but I want to watch just like one show, like my art
Hmm.
headline show of my favorite artists. Um, but
Who would
yeah,
you want to see? I'm just curious now.
oh shit, that's a good question. There's so many people, but like this guy named Porches. Um, who else? Even like Wilco would still be cool, or just like Jeff Tweedy, like a
Oh,
set.
sure. That would be rad. He's still does. I mean, Wilco still does stuff. There aren't they on? I think they're on some pretty big festivals this year.
Really?
Yeah, I remember seeing their name. Maybe I'm mistaken. I mean, the whole year left, so I don't know if it was last year.
Yeah, that would be nuts. I mean, Frank Ocean still.
Sure.
I owe Frank so much. God, who else? I wish I can go back in time and watch a bunch of shows. I feel like
Yeah.
I say that, but like Kate Bush would be crazy.
Oh,
Or
sure.
Brian Eno would be nuts. I don't know what his shows would be like, but he's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Or like a Roxy Music show.
Oh, that'd be cool. I love Roxy Music. Not a lot of people bring up Roxy Music. I feel like they're like an underrated band.
Yeah, for real.
I think Love is the Drug is one of the greatest songs ever.
I agree.
It's
I
so good.
on top. At least like I feel like my age group, they're not on Roxy Music, or if they
Even
are,
my age group, man. I mean, I'm probably like, I mean, 10, at least 10 years older than you.
uh,
Um, and I would say nobody my age really
damn.
messes with them either. They kind of felt like weren't, I don't know.
Yeah, that's strange. But I guess them, I would love seeing them. 1975, I got to see them like right before COVID, but I would love to see them again. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know. There's so many people that I feel like I'm not naming.
It's all good. I was just curious if you had some, but to play the Roxy, that I mean, like I said, that's one of the coolest venues. The
Oh,
backstage is kind of sus, but
yeah, it's super cool.
you're like upstairs in this weird room.
Yeah, it's like an actual like green room. Like the walls are green.
Right.
And yeah, it was just yeah. That was a weird. The bathroom was funny. It's like this like small like a little wooden thing. I don't think they ever changed it
I
since
don't
they
think
like
they've ever changed it. You're right. Since
I
the place
love that.
opened
I'm
up, which
like,
is
wow,
cool.
the history in here, man.
And they
And
have like the VIP section is just like 5 feet back under like with like velvet ropes.
tables, yeah. What the?
Yeah.
I
It's
love
not
that.
like you're like in some different area. It's just like
There's a
you're on
rope
the other
top.
side of the velvet rope.
You have some cushions to sit down on.
Sure.
But I want to play a show there again because I have a band now, and at the time
Oh,
it was just me and my producer again. So I think the energy this time around would be way different. That would be way
that'd be rad. Well, if you play there, if you play in Nashville, I'm going for sure.
hell yeah, dude. Oh my god, we were supposed in 2020 we had like a weird festival lineup spot in Nashville.
Really
Yeah, I don't even know what it was for, but I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then like Alabama or something too. And
interesting.
We had South by
Oh,
slated,
okay.
but then that was right when COVID kind of took over.
Took over. So
Yeah.
is that where you were when that all happened? Were you getting ready to play a bunch of shows?
Yeah, I remember just rehearsing at like Bedrock in Silver Lake
Uh-huh.
um for a few weeks, and then it just everything shut down. We had a show February 2nd, 2020 at like my friend's old high school in Brophy in like Arizona. And
Okay.
it was like their homecoming. And that was really cool. And
Wow.
a lot of the kids knew the songs. They had like a catwalk, and like my group got to perform there. They had their own sets. So that was cool. And we were all hyped to like do shows after that. And right after that, just
Uh-huh. Oh
uh,
man. It was all snatched from you, right?
yeah, god damn. But now I'm excited. I'm excited to get back and just yeah, play.
Well, talk to me about Stella Brown. How did that
Yeah.
blow up the way it did?
I have no clue how it blew up, but story, I was filming my music video for my song Where We Go in Portland,
Uh-huh.
and that was in 2019. And there was this like set designer, um, and she was a bit older than me, but she was just beautiful. And like I don't know, I didn't fall in love, but I had all these feelings that I didn't know how to like communicate to her. And so after that trip, I had this instrumental that was kind of like inspired by Smashing Pumpkins. Um, and we knew that we wanted it to be like a girl's name in like the hook, me and
Mhm.
Jack. And we were just I had the melody of the hook in Arizona, and we were working on that for the longest time. And then, okay, yeah. So after Arizona, I went to Portland to shoot the video, and then I came back home, and I just had like the melody, and I was like, Stella Brown, and because brown would be like an ode to like brunettes. And so then it got me thinking of my experience, and then I wrote about that. And it kind of just all poured out, and it felt like something that I'd hear on the radio when I was like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 with my aunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, last year we put it out last spring, and then it kind of just took off. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like people take me more seriously after that song. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Did it
Yeah,
get playlisted or like on an editorial? Like, do you know how it like really
I
got going?
I think that was like, now looking back, that was like my first song that really got playlisted, because I think we got playlisted before, but it was like on all of like the Spotify, like
The
Apple,
big ones. Yeah.
and I was like, oh wow, okay, so this is a good song, like.
Validated your obviously
Yeah,
your music career.
yeah, but that definitely gave me a battery in my back, and like I think solidified my direction on where I wanted to go with the record, and keep it like very guitar based and guitar driven.
Mm-hmm. You've
Yeah.
released a few songs this year. I mean, Overexposed, the most recent one.
Hmm.
So talk, yeah, those are all going to be part of the new record, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that one, and yeah, From These Heights, and
yeah. Do you want to talk about Overexposed? Or
yeah, let's talk about whatever you want. I want to talk about this new record.
yeah. So when did Overexposed come about? That was during like the height of COVID. I think both that and From These Heights kind of came out around the same time, but it
And
was just
Marigold, what about that one?
Marigold was, I think that was like after the Roxy show.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the idea started, and then I finished that early 2020, like January. But
Okay,
I was,
so these other ones were after.
yeah, so for
Got it.
Marigold, I'll do Marigold first.
Okay, yeah, let's hear the order. I'd love
I
it.
was super into like psych rock. I was doing some psychedelics at the time too. But I just wanted to like have a song that kind of looked to the past, and like brought the imagery that those songs had in, and then just put like a modern spin to it. So I was listening to like MGMT and stuff as well.
Hmm.
But the song came about, I was doing some research on like the marigold flower randomly, and I just saw that its nickname was like Little Lions. And my name, Jelani Aryeh, means mighty lion. Jelani means mighty in Swahili, and lion means, I mean, Aryeh means lion in Hebrew. And so
Oh,
I found that out. I kind of just like
that's really
put it
cool.
together, and I tried to just, I was like, what did I call it? I called it like my soul song. And like who I felt like I wanted to be, or who I am at a deeper level, like behind this skin and like behind the shell of like a human. And so after that, I kind of just wrote this song about like the sun god who is the marigold. And I don't know, it kind of just went on its own little
Hmm.
thing. I feel like I describe it differently every time, but that's kind of how that one came about. And then From These Heights and Overexposed was just like, that was at the height of COVID, and where I was just seeing so much media in my face. George Floyd's just happened, just like COVID wasn't leaving anytime soon. And there was just so much more that I couldn't even like tell you, but it just felt like there was no escaping or like getting out of this box that we're all in of like chaos. And so I feel like those songs were just like a response to that,
Hmm.
or just like trying to find where I'm at right now, or like where I was at that time. Um, but yeah, I feel like they were just a response to everything that was
To
going on.
everything that was going on.
Yeah, and I think that was the first time my music has ever been kind of like responsive in a way, or reactive.
Hmm.
It's very, I'd say, very insular and like introspective, and almost like a diary thing. But that I kind of was like looking outward, which I want to do more of. But
Does that follow suit at all in the record, or are those the only two songs that really was the case?
I feel like those two were mainly like, yeah, I don't know. Other ones were like reactive to a more like relationship kind of
Mhm. Okay.
thing. Yeah.
And tell me more about the record. When is it coming out? And
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So my debut album, I've Got Some Living to Do, is coming out next week, next Friday, July
okay.
3rd. I came up with the title driving back from LA to San Diego, and I was listening like Velvet Underground, and I was thinking about the next record, Let Us Have Our Time. That's what I'm gonna name it. And I was like, what am I gonna talk about in that record? And I was like, shit, well, I've got some living to do. And then I was like, oh. And then I was like, that could totally be the title for these songs. And it feels like, in a way, like this casual kind of phrase, but also like, how do I put this? Like, gets you excited to live life and makes you want to like leave your room. And feel
Hmm.
like after COVID, especially, just like traveling, seeing like the people that you've wanted to see. But for me, it's like being young, 21 years old, and just like figuring out life. And that's kind of what this record was to me. It's just like a culmination of almost journal entries or like a snapshots into a certain day. Yeah, I feel like,
Got some living to do.
yeah, I've got some living to do.
I like it. That's so cool. I love that you already have the name of the next record like
Yeah, that
ready.
one. It came before the this one. I was in my backyard with my producer, and we were like, hold up. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, someone started calling me, so it like threw the screen off.
Oh, I,
But
I
yeah,
still
that one.
got you.
Okay, cool. That one came about. I was in my backyard with my producer, his backyard in Arizona, and we were smoking a J, and there was like a bug that flew in my face. And I was like, God, like let us have our time. Just like let us have our time, let us enjoy this serene night smoking our J. And my producer was like, yo, that was kind of cool. Let us have our time. I was like, damn, you're kind of right. And so it just like it felt like a record that was already out. And I hear it being like just big and like anthemic and kind of like the We Are Young,
Oh
that
yeah.
like that era, that energy, and like Bruce Springsteen almost type, like I don't know. So that's where I want to go in the next record, but we haven't really started yet. But that's kind of like my idea of where I wanted
I
to land.
love it. You're already ready for the next one. And
Yeah,
with this record, are you gonna tour on it? I know you're doing All Things Good Festival, which is rad. I've
doing
seen
all
Vincent and
that's
Girl in Red, and I mean, there's some huge bands on there.
bands. Yeah, I want to get our set done so I can just watch them and hopefully like meet them because I'm like the biggest fan of all those groups. And artists. But yeah, we're doing All Things Go. We have like another Great River, I think, festival in New York. And that's in like October. And then we have a headline in LA at the Echo
Oh,
in
cool.
on August 26th. And then a headline in New York on I think the 17th or 14th at Baby's All Right in October. And then those are all the shows that we have so far because kind of touring's still kind of up in the air. But
Sure.
we've been talking about it for next year. I think that's like just the most ideal time.
Right, right. Well,
Yeah.
amazing. That's rad that you're at least able to play and you're doing some cool
For
festivals as
real.
well. Yeah. And the record's coming out. I mean, that's supposed to be pretty exciting to finally have that thing out.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real. Like it doesn't compute in my brain that it's gonna be out in a week. But I'm just excited to see what like people think and feel
Mhm.
and say about it.
I would assume, I mean, with the response so far on the record and the songs, I mean, that you have out, I don't think people will be disappointed. That's for sure.
I hope not.
I don't think you have much to worry about. Well, that's awesome. Are you planning a big release party or anything? I mean, now people can kind of get together a little bit.
Yeah, well, like at first we were talking about that. We just got a new place here in like West Adams, and we kind of have a nice backyard space.
Hmm.
But I'm a very kind of like, I don't know, homebody. I kind of like small things. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do the big listening party thing, but I think we're just gonna invite like maybe 20 people max and just have like a dinner and I don't know, drink
That's
a little bit.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Well, that'll be fun. So next weekend, the
yeah,
record is out. That's really cool, man. And I
yeah.
appreciate you talking with me. This is so cool.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Forest Ranch, San Diego, like it all kind of like blew my mind there in the beginning.
It's crazy. Crazy. I definitely got to visit you when we come out there, or if you're ever back.
Oh, yeah. We'll
You.
link up for sure. That'd be so fun. We're actually building our new house, like our dream home. My family and I we're if you notice all the stuff here in my room, we're in a kind of a holding spot right now, but our house is being built. It should be ready in the end of August, and we're gonna put a little studio in there and do these things more in person back because we used to do them in person. I do all the interviews at like Observatory or House of Blues or wherever the artist was.
That's
So
cool.
we're gonna do it in person. So once if you're here in
Yeah,
Nashville, we'll come see your show and you can come by the house and we could do this in person.
I would love that. Where can I check out the other ones? Where like, because you said you did it at like the observatory or
Oh yeah, those are all up on. I'll send you a link right after this.
cool. I want to check those out. Damn, damn. Good work.
Yeah, we interviewed a bunch of bands at Observatory and House of Blues beforehand, and then like we've done so many interviews now, but it's all a lot of them are this way.
Okay.
I haven't interviewed somebody in person since literally like right before the pandemic. I interviewed G Love. We
Whoa.
interviewed G Love at the Belly Up, and
Wow.
it was when COVID was like there. It was a thing, and people were talking about it, and it was weird. It was like the elbow high five days.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he did a show at the Belly Up, and we interviewed him there, and that was the last time we talked to people in person.
Where's the belly up again?
Solana Beach.
Okay, cool. Because I feel like I've heard of that one more recently, but I'm always out there, and I just found out about that
It's
venue.
a cool spot. It's
I
really
want to
cool.
get there now. I don't know, or I want to see someone play there. Just
That'd be a cool venue for you to play. Belly
yeah,
Up.
because I feel like I'm just now getting into like all the venues and like learning about everything in SD that I never knew about. This is here, that was there. This is closed now. Damn.
Yeah. Now that you're
Yeah.
21, you can go to the Casbah. That's another good one.
Oh wait, where's that?
Really? That's downtown by the airport. That's where Tim Piles hosts a lot of his shows.
Okay.
That's
Ah,
probably one of the coolest ones. That's my favorite venue in San Diego.
damn. Damn.
I'm gonna link you, and on our YouTube, you can go back and find the earlier ones. All of them are from all San Diego venues.
Great. That'd be great.
Cool. Well, Jelani, thank you so much, man. I have one more question for you before I let you go.
What's up?
Do you have any advice for aspiring artists?
Ooh. Yeah. I say this is like hard because I always do this, but don't overthink it. Stay true to your heart, even if someone else is telling you like, no, this might not be right. Whatever you feel, whatever you're feeling inside, chase that. Bring me that word.